Um, there was an event that inspires this clip. So this event is there is a guy owning a metal band in Poland who stepped on an image of Virgin Mary. And in Poland this caused an ouster because there's like a big proportion of people in Poland who are religious and who feel offended that this happened. Now I'm doing this clip because I think I have some insight um, into this specific situation which other people might not have. And this insight is inspired by ayahuasca. But also, what I wanted to touch upon is a brief, very bad history of Christianity as well. Because, like, in order to explain things correctly, I feel I need to just show my perspective a bit. Okay, so, like, I need to beat up around the bush a bit, so please stay with me. Well, first of all, I'm just gonna say where I stand, like, on the entire do you believe in God thing. So, basically, I do believe the Immaculate Conception, the resurrection. So, in a sense, I might be a Catholic, but I also believe the God should never incarnate into a human being as well. So, I'm not really a Catholic, but I do believe some things in there, strongly in there. And why I do believe them is is basically a completely different story for a different people. But okay, I'm just gonna put this one fun thing in there. So it's Christmas season is starting pretty soon, and apparently a lot of people believe in Christmas, and they believe this is a factual event. But we know the historical record. So basically, like the Christmas story begins because Mary and Joseph had to go to a different town, hundreds of kilometers, because there was this. Sorry, I don't have the vocabulary, but basically there was, like, in Rome they said, oh, you need to come here because you need to take record of you or whatever. There was this thing happening. So in the historical record we know that this thing never happened, but it is in the Bible. So it's weird. It's weird. Like many things in the Bible, it is weird. But people believe Christmas. Actually, they think, like, this is the thing. Why would you doubt it? Even, well, whatever. I like Christmas. I like Christmas tree, which is big and simple. Just the eggs and taste of pie, whatever. But so basically, like, beating around the bush, part one. Like, basically, Christianity says that we are this, religion, and we stick to our values. Our values never change. This is the strength of the church. And well, there are at least three things I know in the history of Christianity and the history of Catholic Church in particular that have changed, from the conception. And basically, I'm just not gonna touch upon it, but Islam actually, like, looked at it and said, whoa, dude, like, those changes are not good. Like, we're gonna do this religion of our own. We're not gonna have these changes. Everything is gonna stay as it was from the beginning. We're gonna stick to it. And Islam is actually, like, better at this, like, better to sticking to fundamental values. Like, Christianity is not very good at it. Like, it adapts basically. And this may be in part the key to Christianity's success. But okay, so what are the major changes in Christianity from its conception? Well, first of all, like, the Christianity had this rule: no depictions of God. That's it. And at some point in the history of the Christian Church, there was, like, this meeting of the board, and dudes said, like, look, like, our business doesn't scale very well. We need to make those changes. The no depictions of God thing, like, look, like, our target audience are people who are not educated, and it was like from the beginning like this, which it was like people in ancient Rome were contemporary people. They knew Greek philosophers. They, like, read like Mark Aurelius' letters of Cicero. Like, they were contemporary people, smart and all, and and you know down rolls this superstition Jewish religion with a dude like resurrecting and all, and they were like, what the fuck, like, this is crazy, dude. Like, they couldn't believe it, but it catered to the slaves and like the poor people and everyone. So from the beginning, Christianity was designed to target people who are not educated, who are not very smart, and this like that's how it is. This is, in part, this is the key to Christianity's success. Um, Catering to stupid people. Like, it's basically like, it kind of reminds me of American propaganda. If you compare like Russian propaganda and American propaganda, Russian propaganda is catered towards more intelligent people. American propaganda is catered towards stupid people, and it works wonderful. It works like everyone loves United States, but that's okay. That's a topic for a different story. First of all, Christianity, no depictions of God. That rule is broken. We have depictions of Jesus, God, like whatever, the entire thing. Like, but it wasn't designed this way. From the beginning, they wanted to have no depictions of God. With Islam, actually upheld this. They were like, no, we're serious about this. We're not showing God. Like, they did it, but Christianity like broke. Like, another thing was the purgatory. So that's an interesting story. There's nothing about purgatory in the scriptures. So basically, how purgatory, got into like Christianity and Catholicism, basically, was there was this mission in Ireland or somewhere in the contemporary UK, and people there were just like, look, like, we see you have this Christianity thing, but it's like not our thing. Like, we have our own thing. We worship the ancestors, and like, just we're not really interested. So there was this grand meeting of the board in Christianity, and people just said, hey, like, well, like, we need to do something about it. These people are talking about this place where they meet their ancestors, and they have like souls of the departed and whatnot, and like, they are saying like they have that and they don't want our thing. Like, what do we do? And someone said, hey, let's have this. So since we have heaven and hell, so maybe let's have this other thing when you like meet the ancestors of your departed, like whatever. Like, let's have that. And they said, okay, like, I guess we'll change things a bit. So they added the purgatory. And the people over at the contemporary UK said, hey, okay, like, okay, since you have the purgatory now, so I guess it's really similar. So I guess we can work with you now, since you are like so similar. The third thing, okay, so that's like almost 10 minutes of drum beating. So the third thing that Christianity changed is the worship of Virgin Mary. In 5th century AD, Saint Hieronymus said that worship of Virgin Mary is blasphemy, is heresy, and you should never do it. Now, when you think about it a bit, it's like, okay, so you have Jesus, who is God, who is an incarnation of God, and you have God, who is like 3 persons in one. So it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So you have 3 dudes. No female in there. Like, there's no place for females in the holy realm, whatever. You have 3 dudes ruling the cosmos. There's no place for Mary there, and there is nothing in the scriptures about Mary or about the first woman, like Eve. There's nothing in there, almost, like, apart from they get this like side roles. They have no dialogues. They're there. They're just there for just to look pretty. They don't do anything. And so why do you have the worship of Virgin Mary, since it wasn't intended for anyone to worship her. And what is it? Like, is Virgin Mary a deity? Is she a saint? Like, where do we put her? Like, it's crazy. So basically what I think happened is that, well, people like look at the worship, like if you go back in history, what did people worship? They didn't worship a dude, they didn't worship three dudes. Like, you want us to worship three dudes? Like, are you crazy? No, they worship the divine feminine. And what is Virgin Mary? Virgin Mary is the outpouring of the human mass subconscious. We want to worship a female deity. We want to worship the miracle of childbearing. We want to worship that, and this is like deeply ingrained within us, and we want to have an outlet for that. Hence, Virgin Mary. Because it doesn't make sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to worship it. Well, so after this long drum beating, let's get to the ayahuasca part. So basically, I had this ayahuasca experience, and so what I'm gonna say now is inspired by it. So when you worship God, you pray up, but you don't really know what are you praying towards. So in Gnosticism, like, which is like not Catholicism or anything, but it's a different religion. So in Gnosticism, people believe that God isn't God. Like this, the deity that created this earth isn't God. It's a smaller demon, a demiurge, and it's like it doesn't really know what it's doing. It's partially evil, partially good. Like just wandering like us. And I think this is like that may be true. I find this very compelling. But what ayahuasca said to me is that people worship God, but they don't really know what they are worshipping, because you don't see it. You don't see it. But what you do see is earth. When you look down, this is earth. This is the thing that upholds you. So even the act of putting your feet on the ground is, in a sense, an act of holy worship. Now, most people don't believe that Earth is like a sentient being, but basically what ayahuasca says is that it is, and it is a sentient being which has infinite love for its children, and it regards us, its children. And earth, ground, it is feminine. It is feminine because it gives birth to you. All the elements in you come from the ground, from the earth, and it gives birth to all the greenery, all the animals, and that's like so instead, like, it makes more sense, instead of worshipping something you don't see, it makes more sense to worship something you do see. It is the ground, it is earth. And okay, with that, knowing knowing all that, what we have said already, the act of putting your foot on Holy Mary, for me, as I see it, isn't a symbol of blasphemy. It is a symbol of rejoining. It is a symbol of sacred sacrament. It is a symbol of so this guy wanted to do something blasphemous, but in my eyes, he did something that is, um, just an opposite of that. Like, this is a symbol of, like I said, like the holy worship, the great rejoining, it's a holy symbol. Like, for me, what he did, and I know I must be pretty messed up in the head if I think that, or all other people are. I don't know. Well, anyway, I just wanted to share that because why not? Okay, cheers. Thanks for listening to me.